That's a very good question. Diversity is really important. Not only does it bring about all kinds of different people, background, economic background, religious, etc. It brings more thought to the table. And if we bring more thought to the table, that would help us succeed in all kinds of ways. We'll find more different ideas. But the university is diverse, and that's great. That's what we need. That's what makes us learn, not just in the classrooms, but about each other. So in SGA, the people who govern this university, that would be great. We need more ideas. We need more different people in leadership. More thoughts, more success, better at excelling.
We realized that UL really needed a diverse SGA. So we intentionally went and looked out for diversity. We have, I forget what, Haiti. One of our senators is from Haiti. We have senators, both sexes, male, female, no male better. We intentionally went out into the university to try and find diverse individuals to fill our SGA. Because SGA as a whole is relatively small. It's supposed to represent the entire student body. In order to do that, you have to have people from all walks of life. You have me, who is a struggling college student, and then you have some people who are well-to-do. You have some people who have never done SGA before and wanted to get involved. You have people in every organization. We have Greeks, we have engineers, we have, oh goodness, I can't even think of all the people on our ticket, but that was intentional so that each one of you could be represented on our ticket.
Okay, so in the university strategic plan, it says something about diversity and having a diverse university. I don't want you to just believe me, okay? Go look at each ticket and look at the diversity. Look at the diversity on each ticket, and then you will see what you're working with, okay? So on the Cajun Legacy, we have members from every community on campus. We have Greeks, we have non-Greeks. We have members of our LGBT community, and we have people that are from our straight community. We have SGA members, and we have no SGA. We have members that have not served in SGA. And I think that's super important, because one of the problems on campus is that students do not know what SGA is. They don't know what we stand for, and they don't know what we do. And that is going to change next year, because that is what we need on campus. We need the students to know what we are, what we stand for, and what we can do for them. And that is why there are some members on my ticket that have never served on SGA before, because they will learn and they will execute perfection on campus. This is important because if you have a diverse community of people, you're able to hit more diverse communities on campus. They're able to bring different points of view to you. I can't stand up here and just tell you what a gay white male will say. That's just one community. That's one subculture. We need people from every subculture and every community on campus, and not only on campus, but in the nation. Because when we have that, we have better views on things, and we have a better overall understanding of problems and issues. That will lead us to the future. Thank you. Okay, let me be clear with when we say printing limits and evaluate the printing limits. This university had to take charge, and they had to change something, because our STEC program was not having enough money to get better computers and to better the quality of our computers and our computer labs. And that's a problem on campus. We are a technology-friendly campus that needs those entities and those programs, thank you, Melanie, those resources to help us progress to the future. So we had to look at what can we do to help get more money, or keep the money and not spend it on other things or on excessive printing. So they made the printing limits. I want to evaluate the printing limits a little more. It's been in effect for a semester, guys, so it's really not that bad. But we need to be looking at nursing students. We need to be looking at graduate students. And we need to be looking at the students who are going to classes that are required to be printing more and more and more. But also, we need to be looking at the teachers. And why are they doing that to us? Why are they making us go print all this information? So we need to evaluate where our teachers are coming from and where our students are coming from. And then we need to meet in the middle to a common ground. That's why I want to evaluate effectively the printing limits. Thank you.
and you have now $25 that's newly implemented to print on your papers. And how the SGA, this current SGA came up with that amount is that they looked at all the statistics and they realized that only so many, I think it was maybe 17%, went over the amount that they allotted to you. So very few students even go over the amount that they've given to you. And those that do, it's 10 cents extra a page. So the only thing extra to pay for the extra that they had, statistically, was maybe $10 extra. So we're really not taking out too much money from you guys by doing this. We're just saving us money because I think it was about $750,000 we were spending on paper. And that's outrageous, especially in this economy. So the reason that they implemented the paper limit is that the STEP labs can have good access to computers, but efficient access to computers. So we didn't decrease the amount of paper too much. It was just enough to stabilize the amount that we put into it.
I definitely agree. It saves us a lot of money, especially in this economy. We need to do wise decisions. But before we think about maybe doing that, let's take a look at our STEP lab and our computers. A lot of them are slow. A lot of people complain about them. I think we should advance the technology just a little bit to save money at the same time. I'm not talking about Apple phones. Just make them a little bit more faster, accessible for students. And with that, I think after we can do that, people feel more comfortable being on computers, we can look at the printing. I definitely would like to focus on the issue of security. I want students to feel comfortable, whether it's at day or night. I would like to maybe ensure cameras on major intersections. We all know how useful cameras can be now. I also want to making sure our UPs are doing their job, which they are. We're proud of them. But security is the main thing. We're going to keep it on campus and its surrounding areas. More lighting at night, too. Walk around campus at night. Some places there needs to be a little light. So I believe more lighting, and maybe a few cameras here and there, and security.
Like this, that's the first thing you have to think about. What is it that I'm running for and why? So the whole reason I'm running is the reason why we have Define posted everywhere. We want to define this university in the way that it should be, in the best way possible. We have an unbelievable university and not many people know about it. We got our cute little rat cards. It says that we're a secret jewel that not many people know. And that's our goal. We want to make people know about UL because it is a great university. You should be full of pride to be here today. I told you all the statistics that I have, and there's so much more. Be proud to be here, and we want to define this university.
That's such a great question, and I'm glad that the first question was about diversity because that's kind of where my first priority will be. And the correct answer that I want to say is culture. I want to better the culture of this university. I want to better the culture of SGA. I feel that getting out there, getting on campus, and going to talk to classes and going to talk to students on campus, and finding out, first of all, what their opinion on SGA is, and then what they want SGA to be. Because what are we? We're the Student Government Association. So we are the governing body that is over our student body. So culture is number one. I agree with David that security is a top priority, but first I want to really get what the students want SGA and what they want their campus to look like. That's the whole dream of the Cajun Legacy, is to become a legacy that they're proud of, because we want our students to leave this campus and know that their work was recognized and done for. Thank you.
Work at the university, not just leaders, they're good friends of mine. I will tell you, however, while I'm fault line, I've done my job. I've done a lot of work at this university. And I know that one big thing as president is external affairs. Just recently, I was appointed second vice chairman of the State of Louisiana College Republicans, and that deals with every college Republican and every university. I understand as president that I'm going to be using a lot of different communications with all those different universities. And so I already have experience with that, making sure those organizations excel. That's why I want to be president. I know I have the skills, and I know I've been prepared for it. Everybody who's always had my back, who's always taught me well, it all comes down to this. Thank you.
Go to class campaign. A lot of students don't get the grades that they want because they don't go to class. And one of the things we want to implement is a go to class campaign. If you go to class, even if you don't study, you're going to have the lectures in your brain. You're going to be with the students in that area of classroom orientation. And you're just going to get a lot more out of it, even if you don't put anything outside of school, which we definitely condone that. But go to class campaign is definitely a major one.
Thank you for that question. I really appreciate it. What makes me different from my other candidates? And y'all, I've been trying to think of what sets me apart. And really, nothing really sets me apart. Okay, we are all students, and we're all coming to the same university. We're all raising patrons, and we all serve for one purpose, and that's to serve our students. I can tell you what I'm going to do that maybe the other two maybe haven't thought of yet, or what I'm definitely planning on doing, is getting out to the Vermilion newspaper and our social media and getting out on campus and talking to the students, okay? Physically walking campus, talking to students, shaking hands, networking, being the image of student government, because that needs to be improved. When I say Vermilion, I mean I want to have a weekly special, a presidential special. Then I'm going to write a newsletter to them every day, telling them the experiences that I've experienced in life, getting on a really personal level so they can understand me more, and they can understand my running mates, Joel and Colby, and other senators. We might have senators type in newsletters for their college, just to say, hey, the College of Liberal Arts is doing this week. The College of Education is doing this month. It is to get our word out to the students because they need to be aware of what's going on campus. Thank you.
That's an excellent question. When I graduated high school, I was nothing much. I was never involved. I was captain of the swim team. That was about it. As soon as I got into this university, I wanted to be involved. And that's when we just spoke about diversity. This is such a diverse school. I met so many different people, and I gained a lot of influences and leadership skills. I ran for SGA when I was a freshman, failed. But then I came back as a judicial branch member. Now I'm back again running as president. And I feel as though the more knowledge we know from everyone else, not just in class, but everybody, diversity, that's what's going to make us a strong human being. However fierce the struggle may be for all of us, we're all going to learn. And that's all for the benefit of the future of this university.
So I came here well, first of all, I gained 15 pounds, so that's a big change. I came here and I was very involved in high school, very much so. But I was kind of disorientedly involved. I was in so much stuff that it was just too much on my plate. So when I came to college, I realized that it's great to be involved, and that's one of the things we have to make sure that students start to do is get involved. But you can't be overly involved because then you stretch yourself too thin, and you can't focus on the things that you really need to focus on. So when I came to college, I decided that I would take on clubs that I wanted to do and focus on those. Not, I don't want a resume as long as, Timbuktu, if that makes sense. But I want a resume that has, wow, she did this, and she did it great, and she did it well, and she couldn't have done it any better, and she left a lasting impression for everyone to see. And that's what I did when I came here. I focused on the things that I wanted to do, and my grades are great for it. And those things are in SGA, I'm in Tri Delta, and the College Republicans, and those are the main things that I'm in right now. And I'm doing well because I focus on those and I don't spread myself thin. So that's the difference.
All right, that's good.
I know a bunch of you can testify to this. After high school, you're like, ooh, high school graduate, I'm going to run the world. And then you get to college and you're like, I am nothing. I am a freshman. So I was like that. I mean, not all of you, but some of you. And I didn't know how I was going to make a name for myself, but I knew I had to. So I applied to be an SGA freshman senator along with David and Brittany and Matthew Zada and all those people, Matt Lincoln, all of those people. And I didn't make it either, so don't worry about that. But I think that happened for a reason. You know, they say God does everything for a reason, and I think that really happened for a reason. And that made me say, okay, I couldn't get this, so what am I going to do next? And then I was introduced to the student orientation staff. Any orientation leaders in here? All right. And that organization extremely changed my life for the better. It opened my eyes to diversity. It opened my eyes to leadership. It opened my eyes to time management, organization, professionalism. Everything that you'll need in your life is in that one organization. And I was able to learn that. And that one organization evolved me into the leader that I am today. It's because of that I ran for SGA again, that I am on Student Leadership Council, and that I'm on Upfield Dawn serving the children for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, that I am passionate for the things that I do. Thank you.
Are there any rebuttals? The presidential debate has now ended.
Short and sweet, I love that. One of our major platforms that we're running on right now is obviously defining this university. And that's so huge and near and dear to my heart because, like I had said in my speech, this was not even a thought in my mind to go here when I was in high school. And so when I got here, when I just absolutely fell in love with this university the way that I have, what is there that's more fulfilling than helping that university get better? When you love something, like this university, and are so passionate about the cause and stuff, it's a lot like doing community service. There's such a feeling of fulfillment you have to get done. And that's really one of the big things I'm really looking forward to. There's the fulfillment of doing a job well done and hopefully leaving this university a better place after I'm done with this position than when I came in. And leaving it and being able to tell my children when I get older, like, hey, I was vice president and we did this, this, and this. And there's proof of it here, here, and here on campus. And just in my mind right now, it's such a romantic thought and such a fulfilling thought. So I know that's definitely one of my biggest drives to getting this position. Thank you.
Well, one of the reasons why I wanted to run for SGA, there's a lot, so just bear with me. Honestly, when I was younger, growing up, elementary, all the way until high school, I was very quiet. Very quiet. But I noticed that when I talked, I guess because, it was very rare when I talked, people would listen. And, whatever they heard, they thought, okay, well, that's a good point. And, I never thought about, getting involved in politics. Honestly, just like any other kid, I thought about, going to the NBA or something like that. But, of course, that didn't happen. But one thing that I realized is that, students, when they come to campus, there's issues that, they face, especially financially, And one of the things that we have on our platform is helping those students out, especially with increasing tuition. We want to, help them out. And that's why we are talking about city transit, having that on campus. I'm going to keep making that point over and over, because it opens up parts, but not only that, but it helps students out. So if you live around campus or off campus and you use that bus, that's cheaper insurance than your car. That's less gas that your cars are paying more. So it helps out the students, it helps out the university. And that's, what I want to bring out there. So really why I'm running is on the issue, just making students work.
Okay, so I have like a million reasons of why I'm running for SGA, but specifically the vice president position. I don't know if y'all heard, I guess, what I'm involved in, but a lot of it is within my college. And I love my college, and I'm very proud to be in engineering, and I love my department. I'm proud to be a mechanical engineer. But what I really love about SGA, when I got involved about 2 years ago, I served as a senator for my college. I had people asking me, they were like, you'd be really great at it. I did city council all 4 years in high school. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll think about it. And I did it. I filled a vacancy, which is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me in college. And then the next year, I became president this year. And I love it. And when it came time to running for elections this year, I was really concerned if I was going to be able to do it or not because of the class schedule conflict with one of the mechanical engineering labs. And what's really funny is I really wanted to do it, but not only did I really want to do it, but a lot of other people really wanted me to do it as well. I'm not trying to do my own for it. I'm just saying that there are a lot of students who approached me who really wanted to make sure that I was on SGA again. And what I really love about student government that is different from my departmental associations and organizations is that I get to be involved with leaders from around the university. Like, it's not just in my college. And I can't even express how relieving it is to be with people who aren't in engineering and aren't doing school all the time. But I really love student government. I love all the responsibilities that it requires doing. I love talking to people. I want to teach. I really love the academic environment. I love all the small duties. I would love to make sure GPA requirements are being met and keep attendance. I would love working on college projects, and I'm already doing that with my dean as a college president. I also decided on the vacancy interviews for the last 2 semesters. And as vice president, that would be something I would also be running if elected. And it would be an absolute privilege, but I'll keep it short so we can move on. But I really I love SGA, and it's as simple as that.
Thanks for that question. And it's easy. It's really easy. Listen, we were in a financial bind, and we looked at every possible option. We had 50 pages of it, and it wasn't even being enforced. Okay? I mean, compared to 50, keep going. And they didn't cut it off. It was just, we're being very generous. Now, I can understand that the school wants to save money, but at what cost? It was hurting the students. There's many students that I've talked to, I asked, how does printing affect me? And they've all said the same thing. We do not like it. No, we can't deal with this. It's too much. A lot of them are saying, I already used all of my paper. I've been confined all of my paper that I have to use for the rest of the semester. What I propose is a 25-page per day printing limit, having it enforced, just like it is now, having it enforced. And if you use any more other than that, it should be paid for. Okay? And I understand this is a response to a problem. We're trying to make sure that we're being fiscally responsible. And I think 25 pages a day that would help nursing students, grad students, and other students that have to print a lot. Not because they want to, but it's because their major requires and their classes requires them to. So that's what I'm doing.
I'm really glad you asked because I'm also one of those students who print a lot of material and it's not cartoons. And it's interesting that you also brought that up because I first heard about this problem when meeting with President Sakwa because I'm a college president right now. I mean, when they proposed the idea, I was thinking, oh my gosh, like that seems like such a jump going from 50 pages a day to 200 over a whole semester. Well, after they presented the reasons of how they got the numbers that they got based on averages, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense, but they're still grad students, they're students in nursing, they're students in education. Not to mention that grad students also sometimes have to print material for their classes because they're TAs. So they have to print material not only for themselves, but for the students that they're teaching. And these are some major concerns. I also pointed out at the beginning of this semester in SGA that I kind of did some research by looking at printing at other places like at Office Depot or at Kinko's. And all the costs are around 10 cents a page, and there's not really a discount even if you're printing like 200 pages or 300 pages, which is about what we're offering now. And that's, of course, due to printing, due to ink, that's due to paper, that's due to all those things. But I also, one of my suggestions that I had was that we would consider doing a cheaper price so that there's maybe an incentive to keep printing on campus, so that students, you know, it's not the same whether they go to Office Depot or they print on campus. Another thing that I mentioned when this came up was perhaps looking into doing like freshmen getting so many pages a day, maybe so many a semester, maybe it's like 100, and then 200 for sophomores, 300 for juniors, 400 for seniors. However, again, it kind of depends on what major you're in. We also considered that your grad, what, you know, certain colleges getting certain things, and that's definitely something I'm passionate about pushing for, because I think that's a major issue, and I think that I feel like we could come up with a better win-win situation for using our funds to help these more people than who we're using right now.
First, I'm just going to begin, because I completely forgot when I started off by saying it's an absolute privilege to be in front of everyone here and running against all the people that we're running against. It's an honor. I know each and every one of you, and all of y'all are wonderful candidates. So, anyways, to get back to the question at hand, this is a question that's been continuously coming up on the floor during our SGA meetings. And it is absolutely an issue, especially for graduate students, because they are the ones that typically use the most paper. And this is just not a foreign issue at all. And I think the cure, the solvent to this problem is just a simple reallocation of funds. I don't know how many of you guys are honors students, but whenever I need to go print something, I definitely go to the honors building and go ahead and print there. There are no restrictions or anything there as far as I've noticed. And I think this is definitely something that we can change to help the graduate students, just because the honors program predominantly is undergraduates, and I think that's we can change the amount of paper that they use, and we can limit the amount of paper that they use in order to help the graduate students and reallocate that toward graduate students only specifically, that way helping them. Now, with that said, the solution that they came up with, like Joel had already said, they used this because of the financial bond that they were in, that the university was in, because it was costing way too much money per day. And with that in mind, 1,500 students in the graduate program is a very small portion of the university, but that also makes the solution that much easier. So I definitely think a reallocation of funds from as many places as we can find to fund graduate student training definitely will succeed.
Thing. Also, addressing specifically grad students, as your question asked, we are also looking into wondering, or I guess talking to teachers, saying, you know, why is the burden of printing class material for the grad students falling on them for their TA classes, if that makes sense, if y'all know what I'm talking about. So that's another thing to look into is, are there resources that, you know, the graduate school has, that the faculty has, that the graduate students who are TAs can also have access to, that would not cut into their 25 pages, or 250 pages, I'm sorry.
Quickly, just like 10 seconds. Listen, we're saying the 25-page limit we think is fair, and not only that, but we can be more efficient. And like I was talking about speed transit, I mean we'll be saving a cost, and we can oh my gosh, we can, you know, we can pretty much use that money that we're saving and just put in the other programs. So it's more about being efficient. That's what we need to do.
We just wanted to add a clarification and allow Mr. Ray to re-answer his question. The honors program is self-funded, so the funds that go towards honors printing is paid through honors dues. So we wanted to give you an opportunity to re-answer that question with that knowledge, if you don't mind.
All right, yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for the correction there. I mean, really, the entire gist of my answer was that the solution lies in a reallocation of funds. And on our platform, we talk about fiscal conservatism and fiscal responsibility. And that's one of the things that we're definitely looking into is different programs around the university that we can not necessarily cut major portions of, but look at and evaluate, okay, what is absolutely necessary for this program to run, and what is maybe some fluff that they're using. And so if we can hone in on all that fluff for all these additional programs around the school, then we can reallocate those funds.
First of all, they already have changes within the master plan for parking and transit. And I feel as an SGA, it's a very big jurisdiction for us to just go off to. I mean, that's a very huge budget that we first of all have to allocate for. And just acquire. But I mean, just continually, but as for the changes we could look into working on, moving the parking and transit as a forefront of one of the first things being built for this campus. The chance.
With the master plan, they already have that being implemented, so I would just say that what I would do is support the master plan through, they're going to be building another parking garage soon with the master plan, so I just say that that'll be handled there.
And again, just as a point of clarification, I am speaking on behalf of Colby Handy. He did send me his information. So what I can tell you is that Colby is very dedicated and he's very passionate about seeing that the students' needs are met with the utmost priority. So whenever we hear issues like parking and transit, we know that if students are having a problem with it, we need to solve it. And so I'm not going to, I can't sit here and promise you, oh, this is going to get done, that's going to get done, because no one knows. Okay, but I will promise you that whenever that talk comes up, we will have the students' needs as number one. And that will be met with our, that will be said to higher administration, and we will see to it that y'all needs are met. Thank you.
I can bring to the table that I'm very smart with my money. I managed the budget of our campaign trail, which was approximately about $4,000, and everything you see on campus, I budgeted and I ordered, and we budgeted this perfectly. And I think I have the experience as a treasurer in previous positions to do the job correctly.
As well as Bliss, I also maintain the budget for discovering our campaign. But another quality for treasurer is they are the PR advocates within the students of the university. So maintaining a budget and completely just working with it will work on us as a whole as a big three. I mean, all because I'm the treasurer doesn't mean that everything's going to be put on me. I mean, my team, or whoever's team will be working, should work as one. Because that's what the big three is for. It's not just one specific job opportunity. But going off the PR advocate, I am a PR major. And keeping the students interacted, keeping the students know, holding stewardship, that's something I had said. That is one of my main things, first of all, is keeping the stewardship between the students and the SGA.
I'm sorry, hey Brandon. Thank you for asking that question. What I can tell you about Colby is the only candidate sitting up here that is on the finance committee of SGA. So he works extremely close with Seth Stansbury, which is the treasurer now, and he works really close with Gary Johnson, which is the finance chair. They go through all the appropriations and they make sure that everything is correct. So he does all that work with them. He helps them, he goes through the process with them, he knows that process like it's the back of his hand, or I mean, as much as I think. He also was part of Soul Camp lead staff. And Soul Camp, if any of you know, is solely on money that is raised from the organization. No money from the university is given to Soul Camp. So that lead staff, along with that director, has to sit down and say, how are we going to raise the money, and how are we going to allocate that money to Soul Camp to make it a success? And Soul Colby. Colby was a part of that lead staff that made it possible for not one camp, but 2 camps to be possible this year, last year. So Colby definitely knows the responsibilities that it takes to be a treasurer. He knows how to manage a budget. He knows how to do the responsibilities of a treasurer, and he knows how to go through the process of SGA budget. Thank you.
Do we have any rebuttals? All right, the treasurer debate has now ended. Can we have all the candidates stand, and can you give everyone a round of applause?